Hi everybody, welcome to our next video. This video is focused on cybersecurity. So I've got Bryn Hawkins here with us today, who is our cybersecurity specialist here at Simoda. As you'll know from our other videos, Simoda specialises in all things IT and technology with a real drive towards technology first strategy. So really, I just wanted to put this video together and talk about cybersecurity for the business. So Bryn, do you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Hi, yeah, as I say, I'm Bryn. I've been in the industry for a lot of years, 20 plus, and the last 8 or so has been focused on cybersecurity. I deal with all of the cybersecurity here at Simoda.
Phil, thanks Bryn. So there's been a lot of sort of high profile noise and things in the news about cybersecurity, data breaches and things like that.
Yeah.
For those who actually don't understand cybersecurity and what it actually is, could you give a little bit of a high-level summary of what cybersecurity is and what it means and how it impacts businesses?
Yeah, so cybersecurity is huge. It affects everybody. So regardless of whether you're a single user, a one-person business, if you like, all the way through to massive multinational organisations, it's made up of a whole bunch of things put together and are working together. So we've heard a lot about cybersecurity software and hardware, but then there's also services, so people to look after those, policies, which are really, really important. And then finally, something that's often overlooked is the people or the behaviour that they express. So it's hugely important to every single business. It's probably the biggest business threat that there is. If you speak to most insurance companies now, they rate that as the highest risk to most organisations. So it's huge.
Okay. So something businesses definitely need to protect themselves against then. Obviously, very important for businesses to be mindful of cybersecurity, especially as they grow.
Yeah, hugely.
What can businesses do to actually protect themselves against cyber criminals and cyber activity?
So there's a huge amount they can do, and it varies company by company, but probably if we speak about one of the most overlooked pieces, so people is probably one of the areas that we can have the most impact on that's least focused. A couple of really boring stats for you. So last year, a government survey recognised that 79% of UK businesses have been hit with a phishing attack, but only 16% of businesses are doing regular phishing training. So yeah, a huge area that we can have a look at is securing that, and there's really 2 ways of doing that. So a really good email security system is great, but it's not 100% foolproof. And then the thing to rely back on then is the people or the behaviour that I spoke about earlier. And that's really done by regular security awareness training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess we've all been there, haven't we? We get an email from what we think is a reliable source, and there's a link in that email. And, we've just got to train our employees not to understand how to assess whether that email's real or whether it's trying to pretend to be one of the well-known businesses that we work with or partner with or something like that.
Yeah, 100%. So there's a bunch of different ways that these are delivered. Some are very general. So you might get an email from a popular website. Microsoft is quite often used as a way of getting people's information from. They can also be quite targeted, so they can be specifically addressed to an individual or even our business and be quite effective because somebody spent a lot of time kind of tuning that in. The thing is though, in an organisation we'll for the most part we'll have very few people that are kind of real techies. We employ people for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different jobs, and not all of them are kind of there as IT specialists. So we've got to recognise that we need to skill up those individuals. They might be great at accounting, but not necessarily great at spotting spoofed emails. So we do that by regular testing and training. So we go through a cycle of weekly testing and then monthly training to make sure that everybody within the organisation is just as secure.
And how does Simoda work with businesses to help them kind of be better be more cyber aware and be able to prevent cyber attacks and continue that sort of building of tools and techniques and training to be able to.
I hate this phrase, but it's a journey.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of different assessments. I mean, fundamentally, we work to understand somebody's organisation. So one person's cyber secure is completely different from one business to another. As I said from the outset, everybody needs it, but everybody needs something different. So yeah, the fundamental part is we make sure that we understand an organisation, we understand what they do and how they do it, and then try and tailor-make a security solution to fit their needs. There's a lot of stuff that's across the board for most organisations. Things like email security, endpoint security, security awareness training is fairly common across, but take specialised things like encryption, not every organisation would need it. But yeah, so that's the fundamental thing, is to try and understand what an organisation requires and then fit one of our many solutions in so that it does the thing that we need to protect.
Yeah, and we work with some really large, well-established, well-known cybersecurity partners, don't we?
Yeah. Yes, so we've got our cybersecurity managed service. So that currently consists of, we've got a endpoint deep instinct, we've got security awareness training, Know Before, email security, Avanan, and then we've currently got a web filter, which is Web Titan. Now all of those we would manage on behalf of the customer. So we would do everything from a cybersecurity point of view to keep that customer safe with those products. We've then got a managed SOC partner, Arctic Wolf, which sits as an overlay. So they're really good for the larger organisations that are struggling to keep on top of all the various different tools that they're managing. And then we've got a load of point solutions. So again, whether it's something that's quite specific or quite niche, we've got unmanaged solutions that the customer can look after themselves. So yeah, we've got a real kind of toolkit, and we're constantly looking at those. We've got a meeting this afternoon to discuss what our next group of products are that we're going to help and support our customers with. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those services that constantly has to evolve and change and develop along with the landscape that's out there at the minute. So
cybersecurity is constantly evolving. The current threat that everybody's talking about is obviously AI. There's a lot of things that are coming with that. Apart from anything else, it's democratizing cybersecurity or cybercrime, I should say. So historically, there was a kind of minimum skill level that you'd need. So if we take spoof emails, for example, you need to have the skill to be able to write something that's effective and that is going to trick people into clicking on that link. Whereas with AI, that makes that much more accessible. So those cyber criminals, instead of having to be really talented in that particular area, they just need to get the right tools in place and be able to do it. So we recently did a little demo using an AI voice replicator, and it's just stuff that I could sit and do in the office, and that's surface web stuff. What's available to people on the dark web is much more kind of sophisticated and shall we say less restricted in what you're able to do. So things like ChatGPT, you can't write a social engineering script on it. It doesn't let you. But there's versions of it on the dark web where it does. So we're starting to see that more and more, and we're also starting to see it on the other side of the battle lines as well. So most of the tools that we use already have an element of AI that's built into it. But for example, Know Before, our security awareness training platform, is due to have AI built into it, where it'll do things like, if it's trying to invoke a reply from you as part of the test, it will then respond back to you. It's the same as real life. We're already seeing attacks that are using chatbots that are AI driven. So it's an arms race, and it always has been and always will be, and that's why it's really interesting.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think we can all agree that knowledge is key, isn't it? And the more people know and understand cybersecurity and cyber awareness and the tools that are out there to prevent cyber attacks, the more resilient we are as individuals and we are as businesses.
Absolutely, and it's really tough to keep on top of. It's constantly changing. There's so much that's going on. I post quite regularly on LinkedIn with various stories, and I'm regularly not across things until a day or two later, because it's constantly going on. Especially this year has been been full of news stories about big attacks that are going on, new attacks, new technology. So it's really tough keeping on top of. But services like Arctic Wolf send out regular security bulletins that we can enroll customers on, which help. And as I say, the fundamentals is obviously having the right tools in place, having the right behaviours in place, making sure the policies are in place to try and protect yourself. Because ultimately, cybersecurity is about making your place a little bit tougher to get into than somebody else's. A little bit like physical security, somebody who had 2 sheds to break into, one's open and one's got a padlock on, they're going to go in the open one, and that's what we're constantly trying to achieve is just be a little bit harder to get in than somewhere else.
Yeah. It's a fascinating topic. Not so good if you're a business that isn't protected against cyber attacks, but hopefully with Bryn and his team's help and Simoda, you've always got somebody to reach out to if you're struggling with cybersecurity. And so thanks for that, Bryn. That's been really useful. For more information, do visit our website. It's simoda.co.uk, and you can get in touch with Bryn and the team regarding cybersecurity. At Simoda, we very much focus on being a technology-first business. That means we don't just sell you any solution or service that we are going to make the most money on. It's actually really focused on what you need as a business. And so, we hope you enjoyed this video, and we really look forward to speaking to you soon. Cool. Thank you.